Another classic slugfest between the Knicks and the Sixers. We finally get a close game between the Cavs and the Magic, and it's the Bobby Portis game in Milwaukee. We're talking about it all right now on Locked On NBA.
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On NBA podcast. That open gets me pumped.
I'm almost fired up as I was after watching this Knicks-Sixers game here.
I'm like, maybe I was like a little, maybe my energy was at like an 8, but just the new open with that little like fuse being lit, just I'm at an 11, baby. Let's go. Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Get into that YouTube page. You know what to do if you're new. Subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you're leaving comments on the YouTube page. We're here for you on Wednesdays. I'm John Karalis, host of the Locked On Celtics podcast. You find me on Twitter at John_Karalis.
And I'm Jake Madison, host of the Locked On Pelicans podcast on Twitter at NolaJake.
Bucks stay alive. We get Cavs and Magic. Knicks, Sixers. Jake, what is the hardest game in a series?
The closeout game, John.
The closeout game. We had 2 of them, and the team trying to doing the closing out did not do it. Let's start off with this Knicks Sixers, man, because that one was lit. 112-106 overtime. Let's just bask in the glory. Let's just get to our real or fake. Let's play the music for our real or fake.
Is this real or fake? Just ask John and Jake.
Real or fake, Jake? This is going to go down as an all-time classic playoff series.
I'm going to say real. I'm going to say very real. I was fired up after this game. This was just like, if you love basketball, this game has like everything you like about it. Great performances from Jalen, Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, right? Joel Embiid trying to gut out the like myriad of injuries and ailments that he has going on. He didn't play well though. You get it to overtime. It's tense. It's with kind of 2 rival teams that aren't far apart from each other. Like it has just kind of everything. And look, if this goes to a game 7, doesn't matter the winner. As long as it goes to a game 7, this is going to be considered an all-time first-round playoff series. And I think we are going to get a game 7. You're going to get a crazy, insane Joel Embiid game. He already has a 50-point game in this series. Next game to send it to game 7, and we are going to be so excited because of it.
Triple-double for Embiid, 19 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists. The story, though, Tyrese Maxey, 46 points on 17 of 30 shooting, 7 of 12 from 3, 5 of 8 from the line. He is the first player since Allen Iverson in the 2001 NBA Finals for the Sixers to go 45-5-5. You know, I like how you put it, first round series, an all-time first round series. It's a shame that this is a first round series because there is going to be a tendency to forget this series happened. The team that loses this is kind of, they're probably happy about it because it'll get kind of forgotten. If you win a series like this, you almost have to win the NBA championship. So you have like this classic start to your story. And I don't know if either one of these teams is really good enough to get past Boston or to get to the NBA finals and win. But regardless, this has just been no lead is safe. No game is safe. The Knicks return the favor after the Sixers blow a late lead. The Knicks blow a 96-90 lead with 29 left. Look, the Knicks are a great story. And Jalen Brunson is a great story. And he did special things in this game as well. 40 points, 6 assists. He shot 15 of 32, was 4-11 from 3. Another just killer game. This reminds me of the Isaiah Thomas Boston Celtics. Little guy, toughness, chip on your shoulder, just always willing to just do whatever it takes to win a game. But man, when you talk about the pressure of closing out a game, the Knicks made so many mistakes.
The turnovers, man, were
game.
brutal for them. Like brutal and kind of crazy and stuff. You know, they just threw it out of bounds like right there at the end.
Yeah, but I'm going to go to that Mitchell Robinson foul on Tyrese Maxey. It's 96-90. There's 29 seconds left, and he bites on this little head and shoulder fake, and it's a complete loss of composure because it's a 6-point lead. Even if he makes the three, it hurts, but it doesn't kill you. You have to, once the three goes down at like 25 seconds, all you got to do is inbound the ball and play the foul game after that. So just challenge the shot. Make him think about it. Make him shoot over your length. Don't plow through him. That's a complete loss of composure. You have 2 timeouts. You got to understand time, score, situation. And that's a brain fart and just a terrible decision by Mitchell Robinson. Then you got to make your free throws, Josh Hart. You got to make your free throws. And then with Tyrese Maxey pulling up from the N or on the logo there, you foul in that situation up 3.
It seems like that should have been the move.
Foul. So 3, like, okay, people miss free throws. But like, there's just you got to make your free throw in that situation. If you do, you go up 4. But then up 3, you're in the bonus. Just give Maxey the 2 free throws. Make them foul you. Go make your 2 free throws and just play that game until you close it out. The loss of composure down the stretch for the Knicks is it's tough. It's brutal. At least the Sixers in their blown lead could point to the officiating and be like, yeah, we got fouled 10 times. The Knicks just completely lost their composure.
Yeah, they blew it down the stretch. Like there's no sugarcoating it. I look at that. There's that side of it, and then I just look at like the brilliance of Maxey, who was fantastic in this game and who's been really good all season long, especially after winning Most Improved Player. Right, and he's definitely living up to that billing here. There's 2 sides to it, right? With that, Maxey, by the way, man, like that dude is like the prototypical lead guard you want in the NBA. He takes threes, he gets to the rim, he gets fouled too, right? And goes to the line. Like you love to, like the way he plays is like what you want going forward in the NBA. That dude is special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And you think back to the Harden situation. It's like they're kind of glad that Harden kind of acted up and pushed his way out. Like that's
addition by subtraction, right? It freed up space for Maxey to be this way. So even if the return on Harden wasn't as good as it could be, right? Like part of the return is this level of play from Maxey.
Yeah. And so I don't know how this is going to go. I mean, look, New York now leads 3-2. Still damn near impossible for Philly to, not totally impossible, but considering how close these games were, but to win 3 in a row with Embiid on one leg,
with a migraine, with the Bell's palsy that he's dealing with, man,
I don't know,
he
like
didn't
scurvy at this point. What else does he have? He's got everything.
It's gonna come out with just bionic parts at this point. It feels like for the next game here. Just imagine, right? Just imagine the narrative, right? He didn't go to shoot around because he just stayed in a dark hotel room because of the migraine. He comes out and has another 50-point game dealing with everything that he's doing, and it sends this to a game 7, and they go from the play-in tournament to maybe upsetting the 2 seed. Oh, the narratives are so beautiful.
That would be kind of crazy. However it goes for Philly, this was a nice discovery, and I don't even know if like Philly fans are fully happy that this series is extended, because I think there's some part of Philly fans who's like, can we please we don't want Embiid to get hurt anymore. Can we just move on? Can we get to the next, because you've accomplished everything you need to accomplish, right? It doesn't feel like this is a championship team, even though they're fighting their butts off, and full credit from a Boston guy to the 76ers, full credit for working and fighting and staying alive. This is an amazing series for a team that should have lost by now, right?
Yeah, but if you look at that, if they win this series, right, they're going to go up against the winner of the Bucks and Pacers. And if the Bucks are, and we'll talk about them in a minute, right? Like if they're still as banged up as they are, I don't know. How's Indiana feel about like that, right? If they somehow get the Bucks, or if they get an Indiana Pacers team that, you know, wasn't like an elite seed here, like they might feel good at least about making the conference finals all of a sudden.
Could be. Like it could go either way. I don't know. I feel like this was set up for Philly to just kind of like fade out. Everybody was talking about New York and how they match up against Boston. And now it's like, I still think New York's going to close out this series.
Yeah, probably. But still, let's get into a game 7, please.
Yeah. I'm looking at, I have the TV on in the background. I'm looking at that Tyrese Maxey shot again, just pulling up from the end in New York and drilling that. I mean, yeah, they should have fouled, but oh my God, the audacity to pull up from that spot.
Great word.
Just wow. All right. We'll chew on that for a little bit more. We had
another wow play.
Another wow play.
We're going to talk about on the other side of the ball.
An actual close game between the Orlando Magic and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's talk about that in just a second. Today's show is brought to you by DoorDash. Mom, you got to buy mom something, right? Mother's Day is around the corner, and maybe you're busy, like me, putting things off, like me, or you just want to do something different. DoorDash is a great way to get your mom something unique, something different, for whatever your mom is into, right? We've all got different kinds of moms. Some moms I have sweet tooths and want some chocolates, or they love flowers. Some are readers. They want books or something in that kind of realm. Some are into tech. Some are into, makeup and beauty. Whatever it is, you can give your mom the thoughtful gift that she deserves with the convenience you need because you're running around. You can choose same-day delivery with DoorDash. You can schedule with DoorDash a week ahead so things arrive at a specific time. You can do all of this on DoorDash and make sure that you are giving mom the gift she needs. You also can make her proud with savings with a Dash Pass membership. You can save $0 delivery fees. You can get reduced service fees on eligible orders. There are other fees that apply here, but you get a deal with Dash Pass. You can also save it on all your Mother's Day gifts. You get them all in one place and get 50% off your next order, up to $15 when you spend $15 or more on your next flour, convenience, grocery, or retail order right now with the code LOCKEDONNBA. That's LOCKEDONNBA. Order using DoorDash today. Use that code LOCKEDONNBA. Terms apply. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. It's America's #1 sportsbook. With all the money that you're saving by getting mom's gifts on DoorDash, you can have a few extra bucks to throw on your favorite game over here on FanDuel. Whatever you want. You want to bet on a spread? You want to bet on money line? You want to bet on player props? It's all there. And if you go to FanDuel.com/LockedOnNBA and you lay down a bet, whatever it is, win or lose, you get $150 in bonus bets. That's what makes them America's #1 sports book, because new customers get that $150 in bonus bets no matter what, win or lose. But you got to go to FanDuel.com/LockedOn. Go there, sign up, use their free app, it's a great app, and it's got tools to help you set your limits, set your parameters, set your budgets, so you can gamble responsibly but still have fun at America's #1 sports book. Thanks for making Locked On NBA your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On Sports today. Streaming 24/7 on YouTube, also on the Amazon Fire TV channels app. This show will be on there. We'll be on there, making an appearance. So go check it out. All the big topics, all the big shows. None of the fake arguing. We're just talking sports, man.
Just talking sports, giving you the info, the biggest stories around all of the leagues.
Like the Cleveland Cavaliers winning 104-103. Beating the Orlando Magic, taking that pivotal game 5. You can't say game 5 without the word pivotal. It has to be in there.
It's a requirement. It's actually in our contracts.
It's a pivotal game 5. Look, a great game all the way around, some big performances, but the big story is the block shot. Evan Mobley on Franz Wagner driving to the left, getting with a chance to take a lead.
He beat him. He was beat. And then he recovered. Mobley had an insane recovery for a game-winning block.
Left arm, just went down there and pinned it, just volleyballed it off the glass and saved it. This is huge. This is a huge deal for the Cavaliers because they had the flame out last year. They tanked to get into this spot, and if they had another flame out against Orlando, you basically said, we want the Orlando Magic because we think we can beat them, even though the opponent is the Boston Celtics. So this is a monster game. This is a huge, huge, huge deal for the Cavaliers to win this game and now take this lead and now have 2 chances to close out this series.
Like this, if they win this series, and that's still yet to come, right? But it was a pivotal game 5, I've been told. And they were, taking that lead's important here, right? Like if they had flamed out in the first round again, oh man, the noise around them would have been rough. There's already been noise around, do Jared Allen and Evan Mobley fit? Do they maybe need to pick one or the other, right? No Jared Allen in this game. Mobley comes up the hero. I don't know if that necessarily makes things better or worse for them in this, but it's one of those things that at least like makes you breathe and take some of the stress and the pressure off of this for at least this moment, I think.
Yeah, look, the noise isn't going away. No matter what.
Entirely.
Like, so, but they now have the potential to shift the narrative, which brings us to
I am telling you right now that not real.
Is this real or fake? Just ask John and Jake.
Real or fake, Jake? The Cavs' decision to tank into this spot, considering the Kristaps Porzingis injury, is actually could pay off.
It's real in this series that it'll pay off. It's not going to pay off in the next round when they play the Boston Celtics once your team there closes it out against the Miami Heat. But yeah, sure, they're up 3-2 right now. I'll give it to them here. That's important. Look, getting out of the first round, as I just said, super important for him. So yeah, absolutely.
I was trying to kind of parlay this into Boston could be vulnerable without Kristaps Porzingis, but I don't think that they're actually vulnerable against the Cavs with or without Kristaps Porzingis. The Celtics have personnel to get past the Cavs if they win this series.
Yeah, look, they haven't gotten the best play from some key guys, right? Like Darius Garland has struggled all year long. This is his first 20-point game in this series. That's something they need a lot more from, He hasn't been delivering on that. Then you're going to throw him against White and Holiday in the next round. I'm not expecting much from him, right? That's why, cool. You won the series. That's important. They needed to do that. And it at least gives them a little bit more data on that Allen and Mobley pairing, even Garland and Donovan Mitchell, and at least then just gives them the direction they need to go from here.
Yeah. So, look, first things first, you do have to close out the Orlando Magic, and it's been home teams, right? It's been home teams have the advantage, and so I know from a Celtics perspective, I'm looking forward to a Orlando Cavaliers Game 7. Just for that one extra game to let Kristaps Porzingis heal, which, by the way, just to have this little bit of news that we sneak in here, he's expected to miss several games according to Woj. I know that the Celtics don't really have a timeline. It's not a season-ending thing. He will be back in the playoffs, provided that the Celtics last long enough. Now, I don't know if it's going to be he's done for the Miami series, and that series just might be done on Wednesday night anyway. He's probably not going to play if they face Cleveland or Orlando, and that's kind of why I kind of tried to spark this discussion. But that shouldn't even matter. The Celtics have enough to stop the Cavaliers, and I don't know who the Cavaliers attack defensively. So, assuming the Celtics get past the second round, then we wait to see if Porzingis can make it into a conference finals. there's a chance like that is still.
That's where, like, if you were to ask me about one of the teams on the other side of the bracket, and it's like in the conference finals against Boston with no Porzingis, it's a different story, right? Right now, though, no.
No. And I still feel confident in the Celtics' chances against even whoever a conference finalist might be, but that's way down the road, and who knows what's going to happen until then. It's just basically the news is on Porzingis. Still possible to come back in the playoffs, still possible to come back by the conference finals, but it's all very, very fluid right now. All right. The Indiana Pacers, speaking of unable to close things out, were unable to close things out in Milwaukee thanks to one Bobby Portis. It's the Bobby Portis game.
The Bobby Portis game.
You get one, and we got it. That's next. Today's show is brought to you by Monopoly Go. Okay, we got to pause here to talk about Monopoly Go. And I know what you're saying. Flag on the play. You already talked about Monopoly Go, but there's just so much stuff, good stuff in this game. In Monopoly Go, you can team up with friends for time tournaments where you work together. You can build up each other's boards, and the more you win together, the more awesome prizes you can unlock. And there's so much to get. You get unique stickers that you can trade with your friends to complete albums for big prizes. There are cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with. I mean, what's Monopoly without the playing pieces? And hilarious emojis for taunting friends. Because if you're playing against the friends or you got to be able to taunt. That's a key element when playing with your friends. And then you can smash their buildings or heist their vaults. Super fun. I had somebody tweet at me who said, why didn't you tell us that Monopoly Go is so addictive? It feels new. It's exciting every day. And it's constantly changing with tournaments and challenges. A ton include unique mini games like digging for treasure or robot pachinko machine. There's always new timed events to help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go. So get off the bench and go download it now for free on Google Play or the App Store. Game on. The Indiana Pacers did not look good against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks put together just a monster third quarter to blow this game open behind Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis is always going to give you one good game a series, at least one. And this was the one where he had 29 points, 10 rebounds. He shot 14 of 24. He was everywhere. He was a plus 30. Patrick Beverley was a plus 36. Chris Middleton, 29 points. And, at 11 for 29 from 3 for Milwaukee and 12 of 38 for the Indiana Pacers. When the three-pointers aren't falling for the Indiana Pacers, it's tough for them to win these games.
Yeah, it really is. And, this one was interesting because I think last week we talked about it where like the Bucks look done, right? It's going to be no Lillard, no Giannis. You're going to Indiana. Like that's going to be a problem here. And it had been, especially with the meltdown they had in the last game where Portis was ejected. And you need a performance from him. You need that performance from Middleton too, because you don't have Giannis. You don't have Damian Lillard here. It's funny because we could use a cliche, right? You talked about it in the open of what's the toughest game in a playoff series, right? Role players play better at home. Bobby Portis and Middleton each with 29 points, except they're not the role players right now.
Right.
They're like the main guys because that's basically all who's left standing on that Bucks team for the most part. They were at home. They played better. Portis didn't get ejected. They both had a good game. They won.
Check Beverley, 13 points, 12 assists, and his now
he was like terrorizing the Indiana Pacers in this game. Got a tech on Obi Toppin, made some key plays, was doing the too short to them throughout everything that he did, right? Like, there can't be a more infuriating guy that isn't on your team, right? Like,
yeah. I'm sorry. I was going to ask you, like, players make the too short thing. They make that little too short sign all the time. Mm-hmm. Why is it when Patrick Beverley does it that I find it just so annoying? It's like, and I maybe that's what he does.
That's his whole man. That's his thing. Like you just played into ethos. It, right? Like that was it. Like he had it. It was like the most Patrick Beverley game The most Patrick Beverley game. He was good in this one though, I thought, right? Like he did his job. He stepped up. They were not expecting a ton from him in this one. But 13 points, 12 assists, made his free throws, drew fouls, and was just plain annoying. And that definitely got into the Indiana Pacers, right? Like as a third party watching this game, you're like, oh man, that dude just has got, like, Indiana Pacers fans, if you were to go look at them on Twitter, whatever Pacers Twitter is, like, they are probably calling for that dude's head right now, right? Like, you know, I'd be doing the same thing.
Wow.
You'd be doing the same thing, right? Like, if he's playing against your team, oh man, are you just like, I hate him. I hate him. And here we're just laughing about it because it's hilarious.
I'm just laughing at the words whatever Pacers Twitter is.
I mean that for Eddie, that wasn't like negative. I just meant that, like, I don't know what it's like over there. I know what Pelicans Twitter's like. I have a little idea of what like Boston Twitter's like.
I guess.
Nick's Twitter hates me because of a joke I made 3 years ago.
It felt like a shots fired moment to me.
No,
I don't know what it was. Felt like it. I don't know. Tony East.
It wasn't.
We got Tony East, frequent fill-in co-host for me.
Say basically my co-host half the year.
Yeah. No. Look, it's tough for the Pacers. The Pacers are in this great spot here, but we don't know when Damian Lillard is going to be back, right? If he's going to be back, when he might be back. This is youth, right? This is inexperience. This is like the Pacers are kind of a little over their skis with this season. They've been, because Tyrese Halliburton was so good earlier in the year before the injuries that they had the run to the in-season tournament. That was a big moment for Tyrese Halliburton. It was like this offense has been amazing, record setting. So
they've been really good against the Bucks. I think they went undefeated against the Bucks this year.
So it's been, yes, in the regular season. So it's been an amazing season for them. We kind of forget that they are still, there's a newness to this whole thing. They don't have this playoff experience. When we use the cliche, this is the hardest game to, it really does apply to a team.
But the cliche like the Pacers.
Yeah. And for a team like the Pacers that doesn't have any experience closing teams out, and for Milwaukee, as injured as they are, they have guys that have been there and understand the urgency of the moment and will not go out without that proverbial fight. So this is going to be tough. Now going back home to do this in game 6 is going to be, I think, you got to do it in game 6.
Yeah, you absolutely have to. It goes to the role player thing, right? Again, a guy like Malik Beasley had not been particularly good this series. He had 18 points in this game, right? He shot the ball really well. He didn't turn it over at all. Indiana is also missing a guy like Benedict Mathurin, who's their scorer off the bench, and they're relying on Ben Shepherd to do it more, who was not effective in this game. Being back at home, if you get more points from him off the bench, that's the type of thing, right? Like when these star players are missing, these role players become very important in this sort of series. Yeah. And this one to me is they played better in Milwaukee for Milwaukee, and then the Pacers ones didn't. So let's see how that goes in game 6, right?
Miles Turner had the big game 4. He 13 points in this game, right? Obi Toppin, 12 points, kind of non-existent, got into that thing with Patrick Beverley, so he lost his cool. So yeah, all of these guys that you can look at, Pascal Siakam, like, right? Don't want to let him, like, right? Bad game for him. 12 points, 5 of 12 shooting, and he's been like the big difference maker. Role player like Aaron Nesmith, you need to get something out of him. So yeah, going home, this is it, because you just don't want to go back to Milwaukee in a game 7 situation, regardless of Giannis or Dame. That's just Middleton is too good and has like that genetic thing, right? There's always like that, they just know. Brook Lopez knows. These guys know what a game 7 is. They've been there. They've performed in them. And the Pacers just
Doc Rivers has probably lost a bunch of them, right?
And right. So here's a chance to get him.
He's got a lot of experience.
Yeah, they can improve his record in those. Yeah. So bottom line is, Game 6. Maybe I should have done that as a real or fake. We've already done it twice. So, Game 6. Let's pretend I asked the question. We both agree it's real that you got to finish this off in Game 6.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's real.
Okay, that's real. That's real. It's also real that this podcast has reached a natural conclusion. So, with that, I want to say thank you to everybody who listens on a regular basis. If you're new to the show, this show exists on your favorite podcasting app, whatever it is. So make sure you're listening there. You can watch the show on YouTube. Hop it in the comments section. Let us know what you think about all of these games that we talk about. All of these teams have their own Locked On. So if you want more on any of these games, go to the Locked On for all of these teams and check them out because you're going to get much, much more in-depth stuff. We're here on Wednesdays for your Locked On NBA podcast. I'm John Karalis, host of the Locked On Celtics podcast. Find me on Twitter at John_Karalis.
And I'm Jake Madison, host of the Locked On Pelicans podcast, on Twitter at NolaJake.
One more favor to ask. Share the podcast with your friends, with your family, with everybody. Go do that and tell them they should be listening to and watching the Locked On NBA podcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.